This initially wasn't supposed to be the video that I was bringing you guys this week. Instead, I was supposed to be bringing you a mission to Juna, a manned mission to Juna at that, and one I actually returned safely from, and one that I was actually rather proud of. I'd done all the editing for the intro, I'd got the mission all finished, all cropped, edited, basically everything bar the commentary, which I was halfway through doing at the time of noticing a certain error. That is, of course, that for whatever reason, two of the most important clips, i.e. the return and the landing, had in fact corrupted, meaning I've basically had to bin the entire video and try to think of something as quickly as possible to try and fill the gap left by it. The result, as I'm sure you can see here, is this video here. We are doing something a little bit different. We're going a little further out than I usually do in my videos. We're actually going to another planet with Kerbals as well, not just a space probe. We are off to Laythe, or rather Jool and then to Laythe, because, well, of the exposition that I've already in the intro, which I actually think the intro is one of the best that I've made. I'm pretty proud of that one. Like I say, I don't like to blow my own trumpet with those things at all, but I'm rather proud of the intros. I do put a lot of effort into those. But you can see we're just getting our apps up so that we encounter Jool, and we'll be tweaking our encounter along the way. This is very heavily edited. I think the total mission time was around 59 minutes, so put that down to 4 times normal speed, that's about 15 minutes, there or thereabouts, and I've chopped a good few more minutes out of that. I think another sort of 6 minutes out of that time, and so total we got this video today. We are taking a boat which has got 2 little Juno jet engines on the side. This is just for propulsion's sake, and this was a lot harder than I initially imagined to actually get to Laythe and land this thing safely. One of the things I have edited out of this video is a failed attempt in which I opened the parachutes a little too early. We were going a little bit fast enough so the parachutes would open safely, but not fast enough to prevent the nose cone from ripping off of the boat due to one of the parachutes being attached to it, and making it look ugly and landing too hard as a result, and just basically everything going wrong. That was one of the things I have edited out. But you can see here with distant object enhancement, we can see we're approaching Jool very quickly, or rather very slowly, because, well, it's Jool and it's very, very far away. But I love this distant object enhancement mod because, well, I don't know why, I just like looking at the planets from a distance. And I don't know if you guys have heard of the Kepler, I don't know if it's Kepler or whatever it is, the mod that adds space telescopes, sort of like the, I don't know what they're called, but I had it installed a long time ago, and it's really, really cool mod actually. You can take photos of different planets and have them, and moons, and have them for science. I think distant object enhancement mod really does help with that. Also, of course, stock visual enhancements. I go on about this nearly every video. My god, does it make everything look beautiful. I mean, look at this. This looks honestly like something from Star Citizen or EVE Online or something like that. It looks really, really almost realistic, I guess, from a distance. Kerbal Space Program with this mod installed does look a lot like real life. Of course, it's nothing like real life because it's a game, obviously, but you got to suspend your disbelief a little bit. Now, the main reason that I wanted to make a video like this today, just sort of like a general mission as we come in towards Laythe and tweak our encounter and stuff, I may as well get this out of the way. I wanted to ask you guys a bit of a question. As you can probably tell, watching this on YouTube at the moment, you've probably got some black bars at the top and the bottom of your screen. Now, this is probably nothing new if you've seen my intros, because I usually put an overlay onto the top of those to make it look more cinematic and widescreen. It's to sort of hide my mouse cursor and stuff like that. However, I do not need that filter really anymore, because I now have a 21:9 monitor. It's an LG 25-inch whatever, it's got a load of serial digits after it, but it's very cool, it's very good, but it's 2560 by 1080p. This means, of course, that it is widescreen and it's not your normal resolution. And I wanted to know if you guys actually prefer this widescreen content. Obviously, you do have the black bars, but it does make everything look a lot more cinematic, I guess. Or at least that's what I think anyway. I think it looks a lot nicer than perhaps a normal 1920 by 1080 16:9 screen actually looks. So I want you guys to leave your opinions in the comments down below. Do you prefer this, or would you prefer me to switch back to normal 1920 by 1080 traditional content? As far as I'm aware, it doesn't actually have any effect on performance games-wise. I have seen a little bit of a frame drop, but no more than about 5 frames per second in each game. GTA 5 will run at high settings absolutely beautifully on this monitor, absolutely no trouble. KSP, as you can see here, absolutely runs fine with loads of visual mods installed. So performance isn't really an issue, and video quality isn't an issue. It's more just the fact that, I don't know, maybe you guys don't prefer black bars, but if you give me some kind of scope as to what you'd like in the comments down below, then I'll be sure to listen to that feedback. But you can see here we're going through our final plummet into Laythe's atmosphere. We did have to aerobrake something like several times, I think it's 7 times or 8 times total, because I sort of messed up my aerobrake angle there and thought I could just get away with sort of punching it when really that only just got us captured into orbit. But you can see here we're coming down on the night side, which was something that I was trying to avoid, and that's one of the reasons why I actually tried aerobraking and not a direct descent. But I was learning from my past mistakes here, actually trying to get some form of reference by turning on the lights. We've opened the drogues, we've opened the mains, and we are actually coming down now, which looks it looks beautiful. I think on the last attempt I did actually get the shadow of the parachutes and the actual boat coming down framed against Jewel, and you can see it there a little bit there. It looks really, really nice, and I don't know why for this next bit, but Jewel starts turning a little bit red. This is something to do with the stock visual enhancements mod, I think, as we splash down successfully, but we broke our engines, which means while we do float, we don't in fact have any propulsion. So hey, at least we're a stationary base for this time. But yeah, I don't know why Jewel turned red, because some of the other moons, like Val, you can see off on the horizon, did do the same thing. I don't know if it was atmospheric scattering through Laythe, but it just looked rather cool, and you saw the clip in the intro as well, and just then of the eclipse of one of Jewel's moons, which I think was Tylo, going across the surface. But anyway, it's time for our crew to get out. They are some newbie pilots. This is their first flight, obviously, but they, of course, have been training for years. We have an engineer, a pilot, and a scientist, just one of each. And this is going to be their home for the next, however long. Maybe in the next episode we can come up, or maybe in a live stream at some time, because I do have a lot of free time next week. Maybe I will try streaming or something. Might have to try that out just to see how it works. But maybe we'll try and stream us rescuing these guys, so I have you guys' input. But I think that's pretty much going to round it off for this episode, guys. Leave your thoughts on the new screen setup down below if you want it back at the old, or if you want it new. But until next time, guys, this is Brad signing off. Thanks ever so much for watching, and as always, peace out.